And I may as well be the first to ask this question, because I suspect that it's going to get asked a lot over the next course of 17 games. But if that is the level, and if they continue to produce performances like that, why not Michael Carrick long-term?
I said it before the game, and I say it now. I think why not give him an opportunity? Like I said before, you've got managers who we consider to be top level managers, the greatest managers. We talk about Guardiola, Zidane, Arteta at the moment. Those guys manage teams, you know, the B team of Barcelona, the B team of Real Madrid, and an assistant to Pep Guardiola, and they went and had amazing success at top football clubs. So for me, I think the timing, you know, could you argue, cool, yeah, there's bigger names that are going to be available. If he builds something here in these next 17 games, what would be the point of bringing someone else in to build off what he's built? Like, give him an opportunity. He might grow into becoming a top-level coach, and we go, fantastic. Like, I like the fact he's an English manager, he's getting an opportunity, and today was a performance that you look at and you go, listen, if this man can build something, he deserves it for me. I don't see the point in looking elsewhere, and you can always say, yeah, that looks good. Oh yeah, that looks nice over there. You know what? Stick with what you got, baby.
Would you give it, Roy?
I'll give him what he wants. Yeah. Signed a contract.
Maybe it's to do with the blend of the coaching staff.
No, listen. Again, we'll give credit where it's due. Absolutely fantastic. But let's judge it over the next few months. Again, the key for him, I think, now is try and get momentum into this team. Disbelief, again, no other distractions, focus on the league matches. There's quality players there, as we know that. They've not had that, they've not been consistent enough. And today they've got a clean sheet, and maybe have two centre-halves now, experienced players who can get a partnership together and stay injury-free. And all these little things fall into place. You've got a striker, players coming off the bench having an effect. But this, maybe some of the PR with Carrick has been a good over recently. You just mentioned, because he's an English coach, the English media will be pushing for that, even Man United. He's done well today, but let's see over the next few months how he does.
It could give them a real headache, couldn't it, Mike? If they were to do well, and then would you, if you were in Jason Wilcox and Omar Barada's shoes, to then say, thanks, Michael, but we're going to go in a different direction this summer?
It's difficult. I said that, I was asked when I was doing the League Cup on Tuesday, and they said, I think it's a bit of a conundrum that they find himself in, because if he puts in performances like that, then you have to really give him the job. But I was speaking to Gary before the game, and he just wants someone who's elite. But someone elite coming here doesn't automatically think success. So
like a Jose Mourinho or Van Gaal.
It is a difficult one. But I think what I like, it's not just about him, it was the players buying into what they was doing on the pitch today. If you look at the way Man United defended today, it was all together. But not only that, when they defended, they could get out. When they played the other system, it's sort of like they was locked in and then they had no way to get out. And on that transition, I thought it was fantastic. That we talked about before, about the Johnny Evans in there and people like giving them confidence. You mentioned Steve Holland, and he's a person who does that. And that's what I think Man United have missed over the last 18 months.
But they've won one game.
No, but the
previous manager won one game.
It's a manner in which you win a game.
But
if United would have fluked this game 1-0, I would tend to agree with it. But they had 5 and 6 clear opportunities. They defended well and they looked organised as a group. Mixed in with confidence as well that Carrick have given. I'm not naive and say give him a job now.
He's only been there for 3 days. All of a sudden, no.
But they needed the lift. This was about a lift.
It was more than that, though, wasn't it?
The formation change for me is key. The previous manager, Ruben Amorim, played a formation that didn't suit the players.
Fletch changed it.
Fletch changed it. But there was
players missing. He had 2 or 3 players missing.
It's that feel-good factor.
You don't know about if you look at a lot of managers' careers and timing, and Carrick's coming here to United, I think it's the dream scenario for him to come in. Everyone's available. You got Manchester City at home, who they've been offered a little bit. You're at home, you got players available. You could have a man sent off, time and a little bit of luck. They've made the most of it. I'll take nothing away from him. I'm happy to give credit where it's due. And fantastic today. But everyone just calm down.
I'm calm.
That's me saying
I'm calm. But what I'm
saying, even more down.
No. I'm staying up.
You're saying give him the job.
What are you saying, Daniel?
No, because, you know what? I think today buys him a bad result or two. I think a performance like now, if they lose next week, it's like, you know what, well, last week...
But his target, what's his target? To finish 4th?
Yeah, Champions League.
4th, or getting to
maybe
Europe.
5th as well.
5th, of course, but getting to Europe. But 4th is realistic, and you're going, well, that's what Man United should be thinking. We shouldn't be sitting there going, scratching our heads going, what could United finish 4th?
But
even the last week or two.
Even the last week or two,
when we've been doing games and we've been disappointed with United, we've been saying, But fourth is a realistic target.
But it hasn't been the case, has it? For once in the last 4 seasons, I think they finished in the top 5.
I know, but the last few months we have been saying, but because of the way the league is at the moment, there is a chance for United to finish fourth. It's not miracles we're talking about here. And if he gets to fourth and he doesn't get the job, it'll still lead Carrick to get another job somewhere, because people look and go, listen to the way he's handled himself, he's been great, he's been cool, and United plays in a positive way.
Okay,
but most people who would have took this job today would have played that way.
Well, let me ask you a question. With the players that Man United have in their squad, where do you think they should be finishing? Because if you're saying that they're not ready to win the league yet, so Champions League is realistic. So if they finish in the top 4, right now that has to be
Well, I felt the last
positive.
few months they were going to miss out. But when you see them performing like that and everyone's available, you're thinking, and because of the way the league is this year, the way it's probably, a lot of teams have been inconsistent, barring obviously maybe Villa and of course Arsenal, where City have. You're thinking, yeah, it is a realistic chance, but there's 5 or 6 teams would be thinking that. But if the team can play with that quality and energy week in, week out, and that is the key, then of course they've got a chance of it. Absolutely.
Roy Keane is doing what Keane always does, pumping the brakes. He gives Carrick full credit for the performance, but refuses to get swept up in the emotion. His key point is consistency. United have had big wins before, then collapsed the week after. For Keane, 1 clean sheet and 1 derby win don't erase months of inconsistency. He's basically saying, prove it over 10, 15 games, then we'll talk contracts. Daniel Sturridge is far more optimistic. He's looking at context and trajectory, not just results. For him, Carrick didn't just win. He changed the structure, freed the players, fixed transitions, and got buy-in instantly. Sturridge's key idea is important. If Carrick hits top 4, how do you justify replacing him? That's not hype, that's logic. Micah Richards sits in the middle. He's not saying, give Carrick the job now, but he stresses how different United looked. Compact defending, confidence in transition, leaders organizing on the pitch. Micah's strongest point is that United finally looked like a team, not a group of individuals reacting to chaos. Keane is right to warn against overreaction. United have burned people before, but Sturridge and Micah are right about one thing. This wasn't luck. This was structure, clarity, and belief in 3 days. Carrick doesn't need hype, but if he delivers momentum and Champions League football, the club creates its own problem. At that point, replacing him wouldn't be ambition, it would be arrogance.